Hello everyone. Last time we learned about primary auxiliary verbs be, do, and have. In this lesson, we learn about the other auxiliary verbs called modal verbs. The modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. A modal verb cannot be inflected, which means it always has the same form and the ending never changes to s, ed, or ing. We use modal verbs to express ideas such as ability, obligation, permission, and possibility. Let's take a look at each of them. Can, could. Can, could be used to express ability. For example, she could speak fluently. My grandmother could speak 5 languages. They couldn't do it. Can, could also be used to express theoretical possibility. I can do it. You could buy it for a lesser price. Can, could, may, will, and would can be used to make requests and offers. For example, can I borrow your book? Could you open the window, please? May I come in? Will you do it? Would you like to join us? May, might, can, could, and must are used to express the likelihood, probability, and certainty of something. For example, we may have slight delays. It might rain tomorrow. That could happen. The keys must be in the room. Just a note, we don't use can or can't to express future likelihood. Will. Will is used to talk about the future, to make an assumption or draw a conclusion about something in the present. For example, we will leave tomorrow. They'll be waiting for us. That'll not happen. We use it to talk about typical and predictable behavior like habits. For example, most evenings I'll be at the gym. They're also used to make offers and requests. For example, will you have more coffee? And they can also be used to express a wish or intention. For example, I'll have more soup, please. The negative of will is won't. The next modal verb, would. The main use of would is to express a hypothetical situation. It's also used in conditional sentences. For example, I'd love to be a great speaker. What would you do if you were the president? It's also used to be tactful or polite. For example, would you do it? We would prefer to have the meeting early. Would is also the past form of will. For example, I knew he would win. Must. Must is used to express obligation, a strong necessity, advice, suggestion, or recommendation. For example, you must carry your ID at all times. We must win this match. You must visit the museum if time allows. Need. This modal verb expresses necessity. For example, I need a drink. I need to make a call. The modal verb shall. This indicates a suggestion. For example, I shall do it. By the way, this modal verb is rarely used. Should. Should is often used to say what we think is the best thing to do, like in advice or recommendation. For example, you should stop smoking. It's also used to make corrections. For example, you should rewrite your essay. It's also used to say what we expect to happen. For example, we should reach our destination in 45 minutes. Should is the past tense of shall. It can be used in a sentence like, I was wondering what time we should meet. Ought to is used as an alternative to should when offering advice or suggestions. For example, you ought to stop smoking. So in this lesson, we learned what modal verbs are and why they are used. Can and could expresses ability, possibility, permission, and deduction in the present or past. Must expresses obligation, necessity, deduction, advice, or suggestion. May and might expresses likelihood or deduction of something. Should expresses personal opinion, preference, advice or suggestion, or expectation. Would expresses hypothesis, tentativeness, and typical behavior in the past. Will expresses volition or intention, prediction or assumption, and habit. Shall expresses suggestion. So that completes our lesson on modal verbs. I hope you learned something new about these commonly used verbs.